What's up, guys? Welcome. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're all doing good. It's been a while. It's been about a week. The last stream I did was an attempted Nightfall stream. Probably most of you guys won't have seen, because in said night. Well, first hold on. Let's make sure that our volume's okay. It should be okay, because in said Nightfall stream, we were like bugging and it was breaking. It was being kind of weird, and that was basically we didn't do any streams last week. That was the way it went. But yeah, so what's up, guys? Welcome. Yes, I know it's not breakfast. It's quite late in the day. It's pretty late. I just had a wonderful time watching Frozen. Yep, indeed. I was hanging out in Arendelle once again. It's been a long time. It's weird. Watching that movie now makes me think of Path of Exile, because I was like marathoning the hell out of that game way back when. 0 to Hero today, guys. We are once again back on Pole Dropper. The goal, as ever, is to keep going with Fractals. So you guys can self-invite. This is on EU. Anyone is welcome to play with me whatsoever when we're in the Fractals. We're going to aim to do as many Fractal dailies as we can as possible. Not too many. We're probably going to stay low on the scales because I don't have enough AR. In fact, I was kind of thinking about this. I think it's been a bit of a sham this entire time we've been in Fractals. I kind of tried to equip some trinkets to give me a bit of AR, and then it hasn't really helped anyway, and I don't know. I'm wondering whether I should just give up on that, not do it at all, and just go back to using full Condi gear. But I don't know. Maybe we accidentally deleted some. Yeah, Newsack said, yeah, the Nightfall VOD's a mess. I figured it was going to be a mess because people had told me that the other ones had been a mess. I have no idea what caused that problem, and I have no idea how to fix it either. It's a bit of a shame, really, and it puts a bit of a down on the Nightfall streams. But I will say, something cool that I'm thinking of doing from the streams going forwards, I think I'm going to dedicate one of the days. You know how we do 0 to Hero on one day, we've been doing Nightfall on another day, we've been doing sort of generic-y Guild Wars 2 things on another day, and then the fourth day, it's always just been like, well, whatever's going on. I'm thinking of making that fourth day another game, and specifically what I'm thinking of playing is Might and Magic X, because people really wanted me to play M&M X a while ago, back when I was still doing the Grimrock 2 series. It's a first-person dungeon crawling adventure. I love the old classic Might and Magic games. I'm not talking about Heroes of Might and Magic, which is what you guys probably are most aware of right now. Hold on, let's try LFG, shall we? Let's go LFG, and then let's go Fractals, and let's jump in first and just figure out what the hell scale is available. I'm a huge fan of the Might and Magic, the classic Might and Magic series. And X came out while we were doing Grimrock 2, I think, or shortly after. It wasn't very well reviewed, but I've been wanting to play it, so I'm thinking of just like doing that on one of the streams. It could be pretty interesting. Some said, is it just me, or is WP really quiet? Shouldn't be too quiet. I would hope not. Oh my god, we just had an overlay go off. What was that? Welcome, Washi43. Welcome. So yeah, that might be something I do. Hold on, let me turn off Firefox right now. I'm using Firefox to download the Frozen soundtrack so that it starts appearing on the YouTube videos. Because, come on, what a great soundtrack. I listened to it today, and all I could think was, man, the score for that OST is so good. I'll wait a couple of seconds in case anyone in chat. Obviously, we've only just started, so not many people are here. And not everyone will take that opportunity. But if anybody wants to play, I'll give you a chance to join on before I fully go to LFG. But it looks like the first one we're going to do is a Tier 1 Swampland, which is just Scale 1. So we're going to do the very first Fractal ever. Oh, no, sorry. Scale 2. We're going to do Scale 2. So if you guys have never fractaled, now's a great opportunity anyway. Allies 1991 says, let it. No. I don't even like that song too much. I mean, it's a good song, and I liked it more this time watching the movie after a big break. Because it's a very powerful song. I think if you watch the movie a lot over and over again, though, you'll pick up on the qualities and be more impressed with the other songs over Let It Go. I don't know. That's just me, though. But I quite enjoyed that song this time. But yeah, no, as I watched it this time, really what impressed me was the score. I think the scoring of that film is fantastic. I'm not just talking about the songs. I'm not talking about, you know, do you want to build a snowman? And, you know, the Fixer Upper song, which I can't remember. I'd hum along for you guys if you liked, but I can't really remember how it goes. Those songs are okay, but it's more just the generic, just the way that it's that Disney touch when it comes to the orchestration and the soundtrack. It's so good. You see a lot of it in Final Fantasy as well, by the way. Final Fantasy might seem like a really weird mix to you guys in the world of video games. Oh, let's combine Final Fantasy with Disney and get Kingdom Hearts. Like, Kingdom Hearts might seem like a really weird thing. But what you got to realize is, ever since Final Fantasy IX, really, there are huge Disney and Star Warsy influences. And I mean those are separate things, not just because Disney now happens to own Star Wars anyway. But like there are huge influences for that in the scoring of those games, and a lot of the themes of those games and the way they work. And you can really hear it. Like some of the goddamn stuff in that movie. I literally just said it sounds like you know, this is zone music for the Giza Plains or something in Final Fantasy 12. It's crazy. Oh, there we go. We got a whole team without even having to go to LFG. That's awesome. I think the second people realise that we're going super low scale fractals is as easy as all balls, everyone gets a bit more confidence. Someone said, what new Black Lion skin set is that? I've been a bad player lately. I'll tell you what, I don't even know what this is. It's not that new though, because we got it a while ago. This is the... No, we'll see after the loading screen. Somebody just asked me about Season 3, which... This is the Royal Guard outfit, which someone just asked me to put on last time we streamed, because we've been looking crappy. So this is like our middle-of-the-road kind of outfit. So somebody said, I'm sure you've been seen this before, but which class are you playing for Season 3? Warrior is crazy good, I hear. I think there's a lot of hype over Warrior when it's not actually that good. Either that or I'm just not that good. I'll explain why. So let's have a look here. I know, don't hate me for just... obviously, this is my alt account, so I've not PvP'd at all on this alt account. But my main account has PvP'd. So, if you go to home... Oh, it doesn't even show. I've played one game ever. What I was going to do there, guys, was see how many games appear on the history here. I think you can get like 20 games on the game history. Maybe somewhere around there that it will show. And just to tell you how bad I've done on Warrior, thrust into Sapphire and rubbing shoulders with people who all really want to climb and are all doing very, very well. Of those 20 games that are listed on the main screen, I have entirely defeats on Warrior, except 2. Like, no word of a lie. It's defeat. I had something like 8 or 9 losses in a row when I was just trying to get 1 tier of the achievement the other day. So I needed like 5 more wins on Warrior for the rest of the year. You know, not like just the season, but this year's achievements. I needed like 10 more wins, and I didn't do it in the end. I did not do it on Warrior. And I'm not saying I'm terrible, and I'll win a fair few 1v1s. There's just something about playing that character. I feel like I must be a very poor roamer. That's what I think it is. Because often I'll be holding my own 1v2s, distracting multiple members of their team, holding a node for myself, whatever. Tend to be doing okay. Obviously, I'll die, and obviously I'll make mistakes. But it just seems to be that when I'm playing Warrior, I'm doing something seriously wrong because I'm not playing very well, and my team seems to suffer for it. So yeah, my experience so far hasn't been the Warriors that good. And after that, after I swapped to the other classes, I mean, it's so easy to play around the Warriors at the moment. I actually think, for what it's worth, this Condi Warrior, this, you know, well, Condi Berserker thing that everyone's playing, which is the main deal with Warrior at the moment. It's so reliant on resistance, and resistance is so on-off. I just don't like the gameplay that much. You know, so, like, now that I finished playing the Warrior, if I swap to my other classes now, basically this season, your original question is, what am I doing for this season? If anyone's wondering what I'm doing, I'm actually going to multi-class it properly this season, and I've already started. If I see there's a lot of Warriors on the enemy team, I'll go either Necro or Mesmer. And that depends on whether we've got a lot of fast, low sustain people on my team, i.e. not enough team fighters. So if there's a lot of Mesmers and Thieves on my team already, and I want to swap, I will swap to Necro so that I can actually have a bit more of a team fight for us. But if there's not much pushing capability, if there aren't any Thieves on my team, if there aren't any Mesmers, I will swap over to a Mesmer. But I found that if I swap to Necro or Mesmer at the moment, it's so easy to play around all these Warriors. So easy. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. What are we doing now? Because you just strip the resistance. That's all it is. Complete cliffside at fractal scale 1 or higher. So we want to do just the earliest cliffside we can, which is 7. Alright, let's get in there. It's just so easy. You save whatever strips you've got for after Berserker stance runs out and they're just sort of running on the steam of the boon having been applied. And if you're a Necro, you can take the Signet's Corrupt. You can take Spinal Shivers, obviously, on the trait. You can take the Well if you really want to. Or you can just stand there autoing with your Scepter. That's all it is. It's just recognizing when the best thing to do is auto-attack. And you will destroy those warriors. You absolutely obliterate them because they lose their resistance, and then what? Oh, they pop their heal signet and get resistance back, and then you strip it again, and you're done. And with the Mesmer, it's a little bit more tricky because you've got to be... It's already kind of tricky to balance the shatters versus the amount of phantasms and clones you have on that build at the moment. But all you got to do is just don't be scared to Condi them up a bit and then roll out a bunch of sword clones. And they'll roll their auto attacks. They'll strip the boons. They can even keep resistance down on a warrior, even while he's still got Berserker stance up. And I don't know. I feel like it's one of those weird builds that you're either really stomping with, or. And the other key thing as well. I'm really happy I've played a lot of warrior. For those that don't know, there are some achievements in the game under competitive. Got nothing to do with the season. These are just random regular achievements, not random. And this one here is Champion Legionnaire, okay? It gives you a title in the end, alright? And what you have to do to get this is 150 wins on Warrior. I think after Season 2 ended, which I'd played Mesmer on, after Season 2 ended, I played... I'd got maybe 20 or 30 wins on a Warrior lifetime ever. And I got this title now. I've got this. So between the two seasons, I've played that much Warrior. I've played at least 200 games on that Warrior build specifically. Maybe 300 games, possibly even higher. And won a good amount of them. So I understand the build quite well. And I'm very happy that I've played that much Warrior. And even once the season started and I was playing it in a bit more of a competitive environment, I played a fair amount of it. Didn't do very well, I'll openly admit, but I played a fair amount of it. I'm really happy that I've done it, though, because as soon as you can avoid those headbutts... Why did I do that? I was going to dodge around and I didn't... Wow, that doesn't even kill you anymore? What the hell? Also, there was an overlay. Hey, Jerry! Welcome, Jerry. 9 months, Jesus. 3/4 of a year. I don't know what's crazy, the fact that you've subbed for 3/4 of the year, or that I've streamed already for 3/4 of a year. I'm really happy, because if you can strip the resistance, if you can avoid the headbutts, it really neuters that build. Like, really neuters the build. To the point where it's, I don't know, it's lack of ranged capability as well. The one thing I might do to continue playing Warrior is play the longbow variant, because I've definitely found, they've turned them off, haven't they? I've definitely found that the longbow variant is pulling some punches. I mean, in the mirror matches, Condi Warrior v, or Condi Berserker v Condi Berserker, the guys that are taking a bit of stab for themselves, the guys that are taking Cleansing Ire, the guys that are forsaking the confusion on Interrupt, those guys are winning the 1v1s far more comfortably than I am. You basically, you have to chain Heal Sig, Zerk Stance, Heal Sig, and make sure all your shit lands in a very, very decent way if you've got a chance against them. So I quite like the Cleansing Ire build, but I haven't really played enough of it. So for those that don't know, Cleansing Ire is a warrior trait that allows you to remove conditions when you spend adrenaline. And you take it with like a longbow, and yeah, it's very nice. And that build will still put out a lot of pressure. But yeah, so I've actually got quite a lot to say about Warrior, because I've played quite a lot of the Warrior. I really have. So Ice Cold said play Healer Tempest. So yeah, here's what I kind of want to do this season. I kind of want to... I want to get a handful of builds that I know I'm good at, that I've played a lot of, and I want to be able to rock, paper, scissors when I go into my comps. I want to be able to look at my comp, and if, as I say, if we have no fast roaming capability, if we have no way to aggress far a little bit, and if we have no, you know, like, split fighting capability, and we've got, like, say, double warrior, and I'm on a warrior, I'd like to be able to swap in that scenario to Mesmer, right? And comfortably be able to play as the Mesmer. Mesmer is feeling noticeably worse. The amulet change, the Moa duration reduction, and also just its balance compared with some of these other classes that have had slight buffs. Mesmer is a lot more in line this season than I expected it to be, because it never had any direct nerfs. But it is a lot more in line this season, so I'm pretty happy about that. Even as someone who's playing it. But yeah, so I kind of want to go into this season and have, like, almost like a spreadsheet. Not like a spreadsheet, that's too nerdy. Like a, you know, like a flow chart kind of thing. Like if I load in though and I see I've got double Thief and a Mesmer and I'm on a Mesmer, I think I'd want to be able to quite comfortably say, all right, I'm going to swap onto my Warrior for this, or I'm going to swap onto my Necro. So that's what I want to do. And one of the big ones as well is having my Ellie set up. What I want to do, I think what I want to do is a water. A water something. I'm not sure the other specialization. But then Tempest. And I wanna play one of these very sturdy node holders. And this usually bores the hell out of me, but this is what you want to do, right? You want to fill these different roles. There's a lot of Condi around, right? The only builds that I am super comfortable playing at the moment in PvP for the past half a year across these 3 seasons are all Condi builds. Condi Necro, Condi Warrior, Condi Mesmer. Those are the 3 main ones that I've played. A lot of. It's all Condi, and they're all very strong. They're all very prominent. You see a lot of Condi. Hell, you even see some of the thieves, even in ranked at the moment. It's not like a no-brainer that they're all running around. That's funny. We just finished Bandit Slayer. Considering the patch, that's kind of interesting. It's not that they're all running power, right, and just resorting to +1ing wherever they can and roaming quickly. You got a lot of them trying to do like the caltrops, dodging Daredevil nonsense. You got a lot of it, like Lotus Training. Lotus Training, I think that's what it is, right? Lotus Dodge or whatever the balls it's called. So there's a lot of Condi around. I even saw, here's the other crazy thing, right? Another thing that's catching on a little bit, I was really interested to see. Probably my favorite moment of playing ranked at the moment. Because I like it when you see different builds, all right? I like it when you see more interesting stuff. And my favorite moment so far of this season, I was playing Warrior, and I got in a 1v1 against an enemy Revenant. Now, usually you can beat Revenants, especially with the way I run with the Signet, where you just wait for them to go into their shield, and then you just unblockably headbutt them, skull grinder them. There you go, they're down. The Revenant matchup, the 1v1s there have been fine for me for so long. Hold on, my dog's being restless. Got to let him out. Come on. There you go. All right, we're back. Yeah, the 1v1s are fine. However, I find myself Warrior. I push far. There's a Revenant there, and I'm like, okay, well, this is pretty comfortable. This is in the bag, no problem. And he absolutely destroys me. Destroys me, guys. Like, honestly. And he wasn't playing. He wasn't playing any build I'd seen at that point. And what it is it's Condi Rev. Condi Rev catching on. Specifically because when you run in with Malix, you can stack a lot of confusion, but you can also strip the hell out of that resistance that the Warriors are putting out. Hard counters them. Hard counters them. As far as I can see, so far. It's very early in the season. But so the fact there was all these Condi Warriors rolling around is even encouraging some Revs to go. I wouldn't say a lot, because it's still pretty rare. Is even encouraging even more Condi. So basically, shit tons of Condi going around. What I want to do is have one of these sturdy node holders set up, an Elementalist, a Tempest, run a bunch of Shouts. Shouts apply regeneration and vigor. Run water as well. Whenever you apply regeneration to yourself or an ally, you cleanse a condition. Go with that. Run wash away the pain. Basically all that good stuff. Just lots and lots and lots of Condi cleanse. Lots of sustain. I might take Arcane as my third line just for the quicker pickups. One of my favorite Ellie builds ever isn't actually a high glass spiky build, which is my favorite build ever. But my second favorite Ellie build has actually been an incredibly tanky bunker Resi that I used to love playing. Way back when, this was a long time before it got super toxic with Mercy runes and stuff. I used to love doing that. I used to call it the ambulance. You'd like fire a greatsword rush in there, very very quick. You could pick people up in a lot of situations. You'd be uncrittably just sitting there in earth. Really 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 nice build. I'm not saying I'd run that, but I like playing that kind of stuff to a level, and I think that'd be quite fun. What am I wearing? Exotics? Yeah, we're in exotic armor. It's basically all Condi stuff except the trinkets, which is clerics. And the only reason we're wearing that is because that's what we got ourselves for the raids. And it's just for AR. This is basically a terrible build. And I've spent the past 5 or 6 0 to hero streams just getting carried by other people in low scale fractals. Playing awfully and just chatting with you guys. Like there, look, I just literally threw that. I don't think I've properly procced quick draw once this stream. There you go. There's a proper quick draw for you. So yeah, that's what I kind of want to do, right? So I want to sit it down. Do you guys have any advice about some other things I need to keep in mind? Because those are the 4 classes. Ellie, when I notice that I'm against a lot of Condi, or my comp lacks a lot of team fight, I'll go with that. And then maybe... Oh, it sounds like something's going on downstairs. 1 second, guys. 1 second. And then just a couple of others. All right, one more. Man, this dog's so annoying. He's so annoying to be around at the moment while I stream. And then you leave him downstairs, he starts barking at absolutely nothing. Yeah. No, nobody's breaking in. This isn't like the Visual Wood episode that never happened. Oh, my stream says I'm playing Guild Wars 1, not Guild Wars 2. Okay, sorry about that. Whoops. There we go. Let's go Guild Wars 2. Yeah. Wait. I did unmute, didn't I? Yeah, I unmuted. So yeah, Condi cleansing Ellie, team fighting, like heavy... See, the way I've got my Necro set up as well, by the way, is complete balls to the wall, let's just try and snowball out or win kind of thing. Like, it's got Corruption Sigil on there, it's got like very offensive utilities, it's not running Worm or Spectral Wall or any of that to be balanced. It's kind of, you go in... You push, you might find that you absolutely devastate in a couple of team fights and that's enough to tilt it and you win. But if you don't, you can then swap to one of the other characters that's got a bit more quality of life, right? It's got a bit more play to it in another area. Alright, Volcanic at scale 1 or higher. So Volcanic is 6. Let's get in there, guys. So yeah, I'm running that as well. A lot of people have been messaging me, asking me for Spud Club invites lately. Like a lot of people. And to pretty much all of them for the past week, I've ignored them, essentially. Some people have managed to get through because they call me at a perfect time. Mostly because I've just sat there, like, appearing offline PvPing. How did you get those weapon skins? Aren't they super expensive considering this is your 0 to hero character? Well, Super Adventure Box was out quite recently, and I just earned them myself during that time. WP, what do you think the hardest classes are to play in PvP, top to bottom? It's not a question of class, it's a question of build. I would say the hardest things to play in PvP at the moment are balls to the wall, very aggressive one-trick pony specs that don't bring any quality of life for themselves, have kind of a one-shot gimmick, and if they miss it, then it's over. That just basically means bad builds, right? It's very easy to make a bad build in Guild Wars 2 these days, I feel. I don't know, it's always been pretty bad. It's always been pretty easy to make a bad build. And that's a lot of the game's problem, in my opinion. But you can go wrong in a great number of ways, depending on the class. Like, I wouldn't dare to say Ellie's a hard class to play if you're playing a current, you know, meta spec, because really it's pretty brainless. But if you tried to play a Glass Staff Ellie, you know, in Sapphire at the start of a season, you're not going to get anywhere with it. Anywhere. You're just not. People will notice you, and they will exploit your devastatingly open weaknesses, and you just don't get enough of a payoff to be able to do anything with it. What's my favorite profession and/or race in GW2? I'm going to guess Asura's your favorite. Yeah, I like Asura. Asura's love-hate for me, though. I like Asura for their architecture, for their environment. I like their race's lore just in general as a race of subterranean creatures that have come to the surface, and they've just got this quite admirable sense of bravado and desire to make the world their bitch. I love it. I think it's really cool. But when we're talking, so it's really not about the visual design too much. The thing I like most, or find most redeeming in their visual design, is that they're small, so their animations feel really fast and slick and responsive. So specifically, like when I'm playing like a warrior or whatever, I like the utility of it being small and precise, much more than playing big clunky Norn and stuff. But I also hate that size as well. I hate that any skins I get on that character will never look as cool as this sword and torch. You know, people ask me so much more when I'm playing this character or characters that aren't my Asura. Hey, WP, where did you get this loot? Where did you get this loot? Where did that come from? Where did that come from? People actually get inspired by the way my characters look and wonder about the things that I equip them with when I'm not playing my Asura. When it's my Asura, it's just, you can't discern any details. It's shit. So Asura's pretty love-hate for me, visually. Favorite class? It's very hard. I don't know. All I could tell you is a handful of my favorite builds to have ever played. Definitely the medic. So the old medic build I used to run in on my Ellie. It's very contextual to the kind of builds that were being ran at the time. Okay, so at the time, when it came to node holders and tanky defensive classes and characters, in Conquest, they were very slow, alright? You didn't really have any that were fast moving. But what I had was a build that was very quick. Could FGS, ride the lightning, whatever. Well, it wouldn't ride the lightning, I actually ran focus on it. But it could move fast. It could lightning flash around much more comfortably than, say, these Guardians could at the time. Or like the Banner Warriors that would stand there or whatever with their shouts. Could go fast. But the downside to that was it also relied on a lot of invulnerability, mist form, Obsi Flesh, maybe not Earth Shield. I think I maybe even tried a Svanir Rune variant at one point if it didn't kick you out of resurrecting. But it relied on a lot of that, so it wasn't a very good node holder, honestly, which is why it was never a part of the meta. I'm not trying to say that I'd made this awesome meta build or something. I hadn't. So the nodes it tried to defend would get neutered a lot. But what it could do was whiz around really fast, and it could res with the arcane trait, push auras onto people, res with mercy runes, so you'd be at like 80% health when you stood up. When the earth change came in as well, you would be uncrittable while resing. You could just stack insane amounts of toughness. For a while, Ellie had a trait where, as it was channeling, it would gain more toughness, and resurrecting allies counted as a channel. So you'd get toughness from that, you'd get toughness from the Mercy Runes, you get toughness from your Scepter 2, you get, which toggles on like a rock barrier that gives you more toughness, you get toughness from being in Earth Attunement from a minor trait, and then I'd run it like with a Soldier's Amulet, which has a shit ton of toughness as well, and a shit ton of vitality. And you'd sit there uncrittable like that, and even if a team of 5 people are wailing on you, you would then just like Obsi Flesh, and then roll that into a mist form, and then roll it into this, and roll it into this. And you had on demand, you could tap into war any time, on demand Condi Cleanse for the body just to get poison off of it. It was an incredible res build. It was one of the fastest reses you could get by stacking the bonuses as fast as possible. Incredibly durable, and it could get to the bodies quickly. You could see someone's about to go down, and most builds, if you're going to try and res, if you see a friend's about to go down, like this guy here in this fractal here, he's going to die. I want to res him as quickly as possible so to stop. So I was like standing on him, waiting for him to die. But while you're doing this on builds like this, he's running around constantly kiting around you because he's trying to hide from the enemies, but you're getting cleaved like mad as well. You're getting hit really hard, and then you both end up dying at the same time, even if you are quite tanky. But this build had the advantage of lightning flash, so I could be just stood all the way over here, watch for him to die, blink, instant pickups, just like such quick pickups. And if you are fast enough, you could take advantage of the fact there's a slight little invulnerability frame right as somebody goes down, as their condis and stuff get cleansed, and you could be rezzing people during that time. It was good. It was a fun build. And then they'd res with a huge amount of health, and then you could just swap into water if you hadn't already, and then just push them to 100% health. And I'd just do it over and over and over and over again. My most fun I had on that was playing a guy who was like on a ridiculously YOLO warrior greatsword build. Which again, think of the context of it was a very high power build, but with big glaring weaknesses. But it didn't matter because I'd just res him, and then I'd res him again, and then I'd res him again, and then I'd res him again, and then I'd res him again. And we'd have been like 2v3s, consistent 2v3s. This was before the idea of a ranked versus an unranked and all this kind of stuff. But in proper queues, we do very well. A lot of fun. So yeah, that was one build I liked. I used to really enjoy Glass Staff Ellie when it had the kind of fun little combo of the tornado rolling into a tornado, but then ArenaNet nerfed it. which I get why they wanted to do it for the consistency, because it was kind of an obscure mechanic that people were playing into, and it was an unintended mechanic. I understand all those reasons for them getting rid of it, but I do think they removed some interesting combo play and killed an already weak build, and I haven't really gone back to it since then. But yeah, I've liked builds like that. I liked my Necro, Power Necro in the past. I've really enjoyed. Double Well, Lich Form, auto attack someone, proc Spinal Shivers at the same time, just nuke someone in the face with these autos. That was so cool. The most insane moment, the most eye-opening crazy moment where I was like, wow, Guild Wars 2's PvP could be really good, was in the early days, the first winter. I went up against... Who was it? Was it QE? I went up against... they were a well-known team at the time. I just randomly had got queued into them. And we had a team fight. I knew nothing about positioning or anything like that, or any of the combos. But they did a super classic tactic of they had a Staff Guardian. Or it was on Clock Tower, right? And let's say this is the node on Clock Tower. They were on the ledge on the side, and they just bum rushed mid at the start. I didn't know what to expect. And they stacked Might on their Necro. He went Lich Form, and then Mesmer time warped off the side of the node. And the Lich went auto, 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 cleaving 3 of us and killed 3 of us instantly in 3 attacks. 3 attacks, I swear to God. There may have been a well down as well or something. But we died so incredibly, ridiculously fast to this raw, blunt power damage, which you just don't experience anymore. Because of this team combat, this team synergy of these 3 people that had done all this stuff and given him fury and whatever. And then he'd done the quickness. Don't forget, quickness was twice as good back then as well. It was mind-blowing to me. I was like, wow, you can do some really cool stuff. That was one of the more fun moments for me. So I've always liked playing Power Necro and feeling like I'm doing the same thing. I used to love that. All right, a scale 2 cliffside, which would be 26 or higher. It's recommending we do scale 4 as well. So why don't we just go in and do a scale 4? Let's do a scale 4 right now. But I love that build. That was a lot of fun. What about the elite specs? Is Druid the best raid heal you can get, or is Tempest as suggested above? There was a bit of a thing on Reddit the other day where someone was like, here's my Ellie builds, blah, 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 blah. Yes, Ellie is a stronger, more sustained, more consistent healer. But, what I'm about to say has nothing to do with enrage timers. So I'm scared of the people are going to think I'm talking about enrage timers. I'm not. What you'll find, though, is by bringing a Druid, because of Grace of the Land, because of Glyph, because of Spotter, because of Frost Spirit, basically, Druids can heal really well, almost as well as the Ellies, okay? But they just buff your team's damage so much, guys. And it's really important, because you're done with the encounter. There's far less time and far less opportunity that you're all going to fuck it up because of people being out of position or just accidental or poor moments, right? It's so much more useful. Honestly, I was raiding a couple of weeks back with a group of people I've never raided with. And they were really struggling on Sabbather. Like, no, I think I did the whole wing with them, and then we never killed Sabbather in the end. But their group was just... They all understood the mechanics, and they were all doing fine, and they were all dodging the flame walls, and they were all doing the cannons just fine and whatever. But the thing is, they have, like, 180 to 200 seconds longer to focus and to keep going, because their damage is so bad. And their damage wasn't bad because they weren't running a Druid, by the way. Their damage was bad because they didn't know their own rotations. They obviously had a lot of people that had bad gear or... Well, it's not a question of bad gear. They had a lot of people who weren't using their skills properly. They're probably just spamming skills or not paying attention, missing auto attacks, stuff like that. Guarantee it. And they never managed to kill Sabbather because they're just damaged. There was there's a night and day difference. When you're in a team of people that focus on their rotations and you have a good comp that pushes out a lot of damage, it makes raids so much easier. It's got nothing to do with enrage timers. Nothing. It just makes it easier. So the benefit you get for playing an Ellie who does give a bit more healing. And I say all of this with complete consideration for Scholar Runes and for, you know, the Ellie heals more, so it allows people to more comfortably focus on their rotation. I say it with complete consideration for all that stuff. It still doesn't outweigh it. Still doesn't outweigh it. I'd always take a Druid. Always. Because it's just so much quicker. No, see, so someone in chat said, Formum said, Ellie is a better healer if you are worse at the boss. Druid is way better if you know the encounter well. I understand the logic, because you're thinking, oh, the comp that's more glassy and pumps out more damage, that's for the people that, you know it better. In an ideal world, yes. That's what you'd think the logic of video games would dictate or whatever. But that's not the case. I disagree with that. The group that's worse at killing the boss needs the Druid more, because they don't have to focus for as long. So yeah, and believe me, I really don't want to say that to you. What I want to say is, yeah, fuck yeah, Ellie's a sick healer. Go for Ellie. Ellie's so much better at healing. Ellie is a great balanced class. It does great damage, and it's also an incredible supporter. Yeah, Ellie for the win. Blah blah blah. Come on, I main Ellie. I want to say that to you, but I can't in good conscience say that to you. I think Druid is better. I think it's a fairly blunt scenario we're in. While we're talking about all this, I think it's a crying shame that Revenant doesn't get much of a look in edgewise either. See, I actually procced the trait there properly on my bonfire because I'm scared of Odd Tom right now. Don't really know why I used the 2 there, the evade, I think. Alright, we're going to have problems, aren't we? We have serious inventory problems. I guess we'll sell as we run along. It's a shame we're getting inventory problems again, but I think if we just go to the merchant, we'll be alright. This is basically the worst fractal to try and TP stuff as you go. Wow, no buyers for greens right now. What is that? No buyers. What happened to the economy? That's pretty bad, isn't it? Oh my god, 32G from those. This is great, guys. Fractals are really good money. Some people were talking about Fractal 40 being, Alright, nothing happened to the economy. We're okay. Fractal 40 is like a farm. You just spam it. You get 30 gold an hour or something. That sounds pretty good. How much AR do we need for that? Is that something people really care about? Alright, well, we got the error, and I think we got enough space to get us through the rest of the Fractal now. When did I pick up a banner? Okay. Yeah, like Ventari Rev deserves to have a place. It's just ArenaNet needs to carve out mechanical spaces for each of these healers, right? And they're just so bad at it right now. They haven't carved out very defined spaces for them at all. My advice is the same as it's always been. You carve out those spaces by playing with player caps more than anything else. Because right now it's basically, okay, you've got kind of a healer and another who buffs party damage, and then you've got another kind of a healer who sort of buffs party damage but doesn't do it as well, but heals a little bit better. And then you've got kind of a bursty healer, and then this one's kind of less of a bursty healer, but really it just depends on the player and their rotations. You can't play with that very well. What happens next wave of elite specializations, where they want to have another support slanted one? Don't forget that they kind of seem to go for 3 supporty ones on this first batch, right? They went with Tempest, had sort of a supporty angle to it. Who were the other ones? Herald had sort of a supporty angle to it. What was the other one? There was one from each armor class. And Druid. And Druid had a supporting angle to it. Right? So what happened? So my answer to that is you play with player caps. Then a Ventari Druid is a pressure cooker healer that hits a wide range of targets from long range. So I mean, he can heal 10 targets at once, which is his perk over the others. But he doesn't heal them quite as much, but he also gets a lot of quality of life because of how he can move his tablet around. There you go. Druid can spike heal really hard, but only hits 3 targets at once. Ellie is sort of a middle of them all, and he's about, 5 targets. And depending on the weapons, depends on his range or whatever. There you go. I mean, it gives you a lot more to play with if you start messing about, if you open that up, right? And I don't know why they're so scared of doing that. Someone said, wait, do people really buy things that are less than rare on TP? Yeah. Because you can, like, Mystic Forge them and stuff, and you can get cash out of them. You salvage it all properly if you get the sigils properly. But, you know, like, we're never going to be in a world where we can actually consider everyone having their own nice little niche for support builds, right? Unless they start giving us more things. Like, what are some of the other variables that they could be playing with, but unfortunately they don't? Ability to buff your allies. Ability to cleanse your allies' conditions. Maybe this healer's a better healer, but this one's a little bit worse, but can cleanse a lot better. But it's all just sort of higgledy-piggledy all over the place. Range and quality of life on the healing. What else? There we go. Like I say, I don't envy the balance devs. I think it's probably the hardest job you can do. All right, 28. Let's try that then. That's the other recommended. That's another volcanic. Let's see how we do here then, guys. Do I ever use the potatoes that I draw on? Yeah, I do. I do. Oh, we should change that. It's been long enough. We've seen that potato a long time ago. All right, what should we swap it to then, guys? Potato cam. There's still a few that you haven't seen. I'm going to have to make another batch soon, since we've had the Ultra Spuds going. Did I skip some before? Have you guys ever seen this potato? You guys ever seen him? Goth-tato? Punk rock-tato? Not goth-tato. Punk rock-tato? We ever seen him? How often do I stream? It should be 4 days a week, but last week I didn't stream. It's Friday to Monday. Your long weekend is my week. Shielding theme support. What, like mitigation? Problem is, that's kind of higgledy-piggledy as well, isn't it? They've got traits like strength in numbers for the Guardian. They've got protection. They've got Frost Aura, which is combo field available to all classes. There's not really much else, is there? There's no other, like, stacking defensive stuff. They've got the Ellies giving other players conjure shields, which increases their toughness. I don't know, does that count? I should count. If you plan on doing T2, then you shouldn't have done Tier 1. Yeah, people keep reminding me of that. Yeah. Because it gives you credit for all of them, doesn't it? Oh, well, whatever. It doesn't matter, because we just need... Oh, no, maybe it does matter. Maybe we could be getting these done much quicker. WP, did you ever play any of the Dragon Age games? No, unfortunately. It's one of those franchises I sort of wish I had, and then didn't. Oh, was Dishonored 2 revealed? Really? Right, or has that been known about for ages? And I just live under a rock. WP, what's the thing that keeps you playing Guild Wars 2? I love the game, but I never end up staying for long. Well, you need goals if you're going to play. The main thing making me play at the moment is PvP. I haven't raided for like 2 months. And I have no idea what I'm doing when Wing 3 comes out. Well, I've got some idea of what I'm doing when Wing 3 comes out, that's a lie. But I haven't raided for ages. I've done the little bits of content that they release, but hey, it's not much. It's not enough to keep me in the game. It's PvP, really. That's what... I've been mostly a PvP the past 3 months or so. I was pretty upset. Somebody on the subreddit, I think it was on our subreddit, linked a forum post someone had made. In the middle of a video where I was talking about all the patch notes, just whizzing through them, I pointed out the Moa nerf and said, yeah, I'm happy that it got nerfed, but the way I think they should have done it is increase the cast time and then maybe reduce the duration as well, but increase the cast time. I think that's a much more interesting nerf because it's nerfing by opening people's ability to counterplay it. And it does have a little bit more of an impact for Chronomancer specifically because of their continuum split and the accessibility. Even though the usual case scenario is you just tap in at the last second anyway. Which I think is a perfectly fair point. I was pretty upset. Somebody apparently made a forum thread about these 5 seconds in the entire video. Saying, oh, this is Wooden Potato's opinion. And there were all these people going, oh, who cares what this PvE hero has to say about PvE? It's a bit annoying because I do play quite a lot of PvE. It's stuff like that that makes me think, oh, screw this. I don't enjoy what I do. Why does the streamer look like a potato punk skank? A skank. Wow. I'll let him know you said that, and he's going to be very offended. You know, potatoes have feelings too, bro. Keep it quiet, or I'm banning you. I'm most hyped about Civ 6. Yeah, Civ. Oh, man. See, I don't have much experience with Civ, but I know enough about it, and I used to watch a friend play it when I was a lot younger. I know it'd be incredibly addicting if I were to even touch it. But nonetheless, it was a very good trailer. I'll say that much. I really enjoyed that trailer. Is it possible to earn a complete Ascended Armor set in 2 months if you play like 6 hours a day? Easily, yes. Easily. Quickest way to do it is to blag your way into some raids. I can't believe that just happened. Blag your way into raids with good exotic gear. Prove your worth to a group of people. You'll get Ascended Armor all over the place. All over the place. And then, yeah, and then do some other high gold stuff. Do the Fractal 40 farm, if that's a thing. And craft some other bits. Easily, you'd be done with that. The PvP seems solid, but it never seemed like it was supported well by ArenaNet. Oh, I think it is supported well. And I like seeing that there's still spectator patches going out. I think it is supported well. I think the PvP devs have done marvelously. I mean, it's so easy to lose perspective on how bad things have been in the past. It's so easy to make out like that Guild Wars 1 had such a roaring PvP scene, blah blah blah. It's but like honestly, PvP is so good right now compared to where it was even just 2-3 months after the game came out. It's so good. It's funny as well because in the recent POIs, if you got guild chats, sorry, the official stream that the devs run. If you guys haven't been keeping up with these, the devs were kind of the World versus World devs kind of. They explained... Why did I do that? I wanted to go the other way. They explained sort of a philosophy shift in the way they're designing for World vs. World, starting with the spring quarterly update and going forwards. And this is the idea that the World vs. World devs are no longer trying to be directors of the game mode and dictate everywhere it will go and stuff, but rather they want to be stewards of the game mode, where they appreciate that they have a community and they're going to try and do their best to facilitate the happiness of that community. So they listen to what the World vs. Worlders want, and they put that in. That's why the World vs. World polls have started coming out and stuff like that. And the PvP guys came out and said, yeah, this is how we view ourselves with PvP, and we have done for a while, right? The PvP team, that's how they develop PvP now. They're like, look, we know we're not esport. We know we're not, you know, some crazy massive thing. But we've got people who like our game, and we want to support the people who like that side of the game. And we're going to continue doing that. We're going to listen to what the PvPers want. We're going to do updates for them. We are stewards of PvP kind of thing, right? So that's the ArenaNet philosophy. And that's all well and good, and I appreciate what they're trying to say. And especially this idea that the devs are needlessly throwing Guild Wars 2 as a whole down the toilet because all they care about is esports. That whole idea, that needs to go big time in the eyes of the community. And the devs coming out and saying stuff like that is going to help. But what gets to me, what I can't help but think, is, honestly, you want to be the stewards of the PvP community. Really? That's what you want to be? The PvP community is the most toxic, asshole-ish, full of adolescent, whiny, antisocial gobshites that you can find, especially in Guild Wars 2. Like the PvP community is a bunch of wankers, all right? A complete cesspit, high and low, right? From your casual little games in unranked at the start of Amber to the heights of the pro leagues, they're douchebags in general, right? Everywhere, like there is a high level of douchebaggery. And I'm like, man, you must really love your community if you're choosing to be the stewards of this game type. And I don't know what it is. I think it's just the competitive nature of the environment. It just makes everyone feel very comfortable being toxic. And it's getting worse season by season. I've seen a lot of it in Season 3. Not directed at me. This isn't like I've got some vendetta against people who have been mean about me and my warrior or something like that. It's just generally speaking, like every game, you'll find someone all caps crying and screaming and shouting and saying, oh, so many stupid players and blah, blah, blah. Just being just abhorrent, horrible, vitriolic individuals. You know, just to baffling levels. And it's to be expected. I mean, come on, it's an online game. Show me an online PvP-based game that doesn't have a community like that. So I'm not crying that it's that way. It's what it is. But I do find it funny that there are supposedly people out there who really care about these PvPers and want to give them the best experience they can when they're all such douches. Nocta said it's because the PvP game mode is so punishing to losses. Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. I think that's why, in all honesty, I think that's why League became the cesspit that League of Legends became the cesspit that it is so quickly, because it's a very punishing game to lose in. You know, you lose 40 minutes of your life each time. I completely agree with that. All right, let's do the tier 2 cliffside and the tier 2 swampland, and I'll probably leave it there. I don't think I'm going to push into tier 3 with these levels of AR. So we're going scale 26 cliffside. And again, I don't mean to offend anyone, by the way. I'm sure there are some very nice people out there in the PvP community. I happen to know that there are a few very nice streamers as well. And there are decent people there, and there are polite people, and there are people that have a sense of maturity about them. But it is not the status quo. I'd say that much. And I hate generalizing like that. I hate generalizing like that. MOBA saltiness is really bad, but damn, some part of me really loves that. Yeah, to be honest, I quite like it as well. I always find it mildly entertaining. Usually I'm annoyed that they're... Like, if I'm in a PvP match, right, and there are people screaming at each other, like, proper going at it, all right? Like, super going at it. Usually it's a bit annoying, because I'm like, I wish you were actually focusing on the game, right, rather than shouting at each other. It's usually a little bit annoying on that level. But also, if it's a game I'm comfortably winning and they're doing it, which happens too, right? This is where you know that it's really just people being twats. I find it quite entertaining, actually. It just puts a slight smirk on my face. I quite enjoy it. And I'm very quick to get over it if it comes at me. What really upsets me is when people are like, they're not trying to be mean, but they make it very clear they think you're bad at the game, right? Like that's where it's depressing. I think years ago, Bernie Burns from Rooster Teeth. Did I just say his name right? Why did I lose all confidence there? He had a story years ago that absolutely sums it up. He was talking about playing Xbox, playing some Halo on Xbox. And he was talking about smack talkers and not being affected by it. But one thing really affected him. It's the same with me. He said he was playing a game and he had like a shotgun. He was in close quarters or something, and he missed and he got killed by another player. And the other player didn't go, "Oh, you're a fucking shit boy. You suck. You're such an idiot. Oh my god, uninstall the game," or whatever. He didn't do that, but the guy killed him, like in a really easy way. And then as he wanders off down the corridor, the guy says to his friend through the Xbox headset, he says privately to his friend, and it just so happens that he heard him. He says, "Man, that guy was really bad," right? As they wander off, and that's what's soul crushing. That's when you're like, "Oof." That's when you get affected. It's not like people going, "Oh, you rotated badly, you did this, you did this." It's when people are like, "Oh, I think we lost because X did Y and you're X," right? It's like, oh no. Mr. Wilder said, "Hey, AWP streaming, my night is saved." Thank you. I mean, it's just 0 to hero. It's just the same as it has been about 5 weeks on the trot now. Missing quick draws, doing the same fractals over and over. It's better than Swamp of the Mist, though. So how much? Come on, I pressed the dodge key. How did I fall all the way? Don't even want to know my games played in Hon and Dota 2. See, the only MOBA I ever really got into was League of Legends. Having a friend screaming at another random teammate has had me rolling on the floor laughing more times than I can count. I don't find it hysterical, but I can find it quite funny. Because it is hard, right? As much as I want to sit here on a pedestal, it's very hard. I come across this day to day, right? Day to day. When it comes to like YouTube comments and stuff. It's very hard to not get into internet slap fights with people. When you know, or in your own mind, all right, you don't know. You're not arrogant enough to know. but you feel you are right. You're right, and they're wrong, and they're saying something stupid, and their stupid comment is getting thumbs up, and everyone else actually is going to take it seriously and think that there's any merit to this whatsoever, and they're wrong. And you have to respond, you have to make it known, and you want to shout at them because they're an idiot. It takes it's very, very, very difficult to be the guy that just steps back, because it always feels like the guy who steps back loses the argument. Oh, you're not gonna have an internet fight with me? Well, that's because you're wrong, innit? Because you don't actually have any good reasons for what you're saying. It's because you're wrong. That person on the other end is never, ever going to take your silence when you've backed out of an internet debate. They're never going to take that silence as, oh, maybe he stopped talking with me because I'm monumentally stupid. Ever. Right? Like, and that goes for me too. If I'm shouting at someone on the internet and they suddenly stop responding, I'll take that as a victory. I'll be like, yeah, you're damn right, you've been quiet. I'm never going to question myself and be like, oh, maybe he's not responding because he knows he looks like an idiot continuing this conversation and we're both idiots. I'll never come to that conclusion. It's the truth. So it's very hard to stop. It's very hard. So just shout back in all caps. Why not? Especially when you see everyone else is doing it. And so the PvP community goes down the drain. WP, you have a lovely voice to listen to. I think that's like 55% of the reason I listen to your videos. I'm not sure whether to be insulted by that, but thank you. Honestly, I take it like that anytime someone stops responding. You take it as a victory. Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's because people do. What you have to do, I have two solutions to this. To stop me getting in internet fights and to stop me caring when people say stupid stuff or stuff that I feel is really mean or hurts my feelings or whatever. I have two defenses. Defense number one, usually I don't actually care about that individual person, but what I care about is that they're on my comment section of YouTube and there are going to be hundreds of other people who look at it and read it and might believe it. That's what I don't like. I don't like the publicity of it. I could easily ignore a lot of internet fights if they were private fights. I could easily do it if they were private fights because I don't actually care about the person. I only care like if I get an internet, it doesn't happen often, but if I get in like an internet debate about something that I care about and someone's saying really annoying or stupid stuff, but all their answers are getting like massively thumbed up by other people, that like the soul crushing stuff right there is because of the public side of it, right? So either take it to private, or the other thing I do, and this is pretty big-headed or arrogant of me, but I feel like it's a really good defense, and I've tried suggesting this to... I've known a lot of different people who have struggled with having an internet persona in a great many respects over the years, and I always recommend this to people. Just remember that you don't have anything to prove to the person who said whatever it is, and in that sense, what I mean is I always imagine anyone... If I disagree with something you say, and this is going to make me sound really arrogant and closed-minded, all right? Because it is, but it's kind of a protection thing. If I disagree with something you say to that level, right? Like where it would spark an argument or something, and I feel like we would end up both looking like idiots, I just always imagine that comment, that message has come from a 13-year-old or younger, like a little kid. Because what that does is it forces you, and I sincerely, wholeheartedly believe that and take that, right? It is really easy. Sometimes when people disagree with me on videos, they type with like really poor grammar or whatever. I'm not a believer that just because you type with bad grammar, your point in a conversation is defunct or whatever. That's really stupid, and I don't really like the way that the internet does that as well. But it makes it really easy to do it sometimes. I just think, right, yeah, it's just they're a 13-year-old, and I genuinely believe that. And when you believe, so like take Philanor in chat just said, I suppose sooner or later even shutting up is a stance of sort. I could genuinely be like, all right, that guy's a 13-year-old. And who the hell would want to argue with a 13-year-old? Honestly. It may sound really stupid, but that's what I do. And I find that works really well for me. Because at the end of the day, it's just an opinion of a random person who could be a 13-year-old. And there's really no point arguing with them. And it works very, very, very well. It's a certain mindset anyway, but that's what I do. WP, could you please increase the mic volume? Sure. Is that better? Hopefully you guys prefer that. Tell me if that's too loud though, guys, and that's blowing your ears off. Cameron said other 13-year-olds would want to argue with a 13-year-old. Yeah, I feel bad because there's probably some very cool 13-year-olds who really like the videos and watch the videos and have left lots of comments and stuff. And I don't mean to be so big-headed and dismissive just because you're 13, your opinion doesn't matter. But generally, all I do, it's not me being mean to other 13-year-olds. It's me thinking of how I was when I was 13, right? But honestly, everyone stop for a second. All right, there you go. Okay, all right. Everyone stop for a second and think about yourself at 13. Imagine you're sat across the table from yourself at 13, all right? And now get in a debate with yourself. How long, honestly, are you going to give a shit about what 13-year-old you had to say? You're not, are you? Nocta said, hey, it's hard for some people. TB had to cut all contact with fan base because he can get past it. Yeah, and it's really easy to be like a dick about stuff like that and be like, yeah, what an idiot. Doesn't know how blessed he is, got a big audience, lucked into it, talent as hack, X, Y, and Z, whatever. Can't even handle, you know, a couple of comments on the internet. Really easy to say something like that. But it's hard. It is hard. And it gets harder the more respect you have for people as well. Like, bizarrely. The more respect you have for individuals out there, the more you see them as real people instead of just numbers. The more terrifying it is when, like, a lot of them sound out against you, right? You know, if there's some big, highly upvoted Reddit thread talking specifically about how you're an asshole and you messed this up, or you messed this up, or you've done whatever, right? People have taken issue with you, found you to be unlikable. And you really see that as, like, you know, like 150 people. Let's not use the upvotes, because upvotes can be hazed or whatever, but right, like you really appreciate that as a lot of different voices, and really think each one of those is an individual who loved what you made at some point, and now they fucking hate you. And you did that. Oof. That's the pits there. That isn't an enviable position to be in. Not when it's a day in, day out thing. Every day. Faced with it again and again and again and again and again. WP, your gameplay and rotation's great. Keep it up. Thank you. I've got better at my 5% attention focus rangering, I guess, right? Maybe I should put this out to people as a guide for how to ranger. What do you guys think? How to fractal ranger? I'm going to stand still so that this torment doesn't kill me. Oh, no, but we're not out of the cage, and the cage stacks it. Oh, my God, this is so bad. Oh, God, WP sounds so sad. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'd like to think, I'd like to sniff my own farts and say I've got a pretty good handle of myself at the moment. I'd like to. People who follow on Patreon will have, they had a special vlog in the week where I did talk about some issues I was having. It wasn't really about audiences, though, and it wasn't about, you know, how to handle internet fights and the opinions of thousands of people talking to you all the time. It wasn't about that. I'm having, I don't know, misgivings about what I really want to be doing on YouTube at the moment. Because it's like I spent 6 years, it's almost 6 years I've been on this website, can you believe it? It's like I spent 6 years trying to be successful making video game videos or whatever. Specifically in the Guild Wars franchise. And I mean, I'm about to move out and I'm sort of financially secure as far as I can tell. I mean, I'm not really making any savings or anything. But it's kind of like I made it. So it's like I had a big thing about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It's still ongoing as well. In a really big way where I'm kind of like, is this what I want to do? And it's very scary. It's very scary. The hardest thing you can do on YouTube is branch out your audience and generalize it and prove to people that you're worth listening to and following, even when it's not related to your expertise on one particular game. It's very hard. So even just the thought is a scary proposition, a risky proposition. And it's been pretty major, to be honest. It's been pretty depressing. That's where I sound sad. It's not because, oh, people were mean. We got to do tier 2 Swampland now, which is 26 plus, so I think 32. Yeah, and I know. We should have just done this first. It gives us more time to play together, guys. It's cool. Just try to be yourself even when it comes to having extreme opinions. Just use common sense and be honest. So apparently there was a thing that blew up with the angry video game nerd the other day. It was weird because I saw on Reddit there's a subreddit called Out of the Loop where you can like post about things you see everyone's referring to and talking about and blah 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 blah, but you don't know what's going on. And there was an Out of the Loop post saying, why does everyone hate on the AVGN now? And a link to a video, and I clicked the video that supposedly everyone was hating on. I didn't see any hate at all. But that was just because he came out and said he was honest, and he came out. He's always been a huge fan and always talked very much about how he has been influenced by the Ghostbusters series. Ghostbusters series? What am I talking about? The Ghostbusters movie. And he's refusing to watch the new one. So I think people have manufactured drama out of nothing based on the fact that he said that. You know. I think so many things happen on the internet that it's just phantoms. People argue for phantoms all the time. Oh, everyone's hating on AVGN because they're saying he's a misogynist because he won't watch the new movie. Where are these people? There was one guy who left a... Oh, okay. It's amazing how the internet is able to do that. It's not actually just the internet. It's traditional newspapers and media have been able to do it as well. You tell someone that something's happening. Oh, plausibly I can imagine people are in an outrage about that. And then everyone will be outraged that the outrage exists. And then there's a real outrage, but it's an outrage over phantoms. There was no real big deal. Happens a lot. WP, you could become a game reviewer. Yeah, but I don't want to be a game reviewer. If there's any, there are only some things I'm certain on at the moment with what I want to do with my career. And usually the things I'm certain on are what I don't want to do. Honestly, I can think of anything worse than being a game reviewer. Well, okay, I can, but it's not very high on my list, basically. I think it sounds like a crap gig. And there's something about it and the amount of people that are trying to be it that just doesn't sit right to me. Does Edge of the Mist not give you experience anymore? Great question. I don't know. Maybe? I haven't been to EOTM since the update. The World vs. World update. I guess not. Does that mean it's just dead now? I really want this to become a part of the... we're not going to do that discussion. If WP becomes a game reviewer, then Matt will kill him. Well, there's a lot of things related to game reviewing that, yeah, I wouldn't like. I don't like the pacing of the video. The uploads. Like, if you want to be a game reviewer that's taken seriously, there's a shit lot of work and love and attention that needs to go into each individual little project. And the more attached you get to each individual little thing, the more upsetting it is if it doesn't do well. I don't think I could handle that. I don't think I'd like that. I'm not going to take the mob side, but in my opinion, the reasons for not seeing the movie were kind of weird. Yeah, like, to be honest with you, it seems a bit weird to me as well. If I was a massive fan, right, like, a similar thing for me, I'm a big fan of The Never-Ending Story. Fucking weird movie, but a movie I watched several times as a child, and I still vibe off of, and it's still an influence on me, right? Like, so if a sequel, a third sequel was coming out, The Never-Ending Story 3, or a reboot or whatever, even if from the trailers it looked awful, really bad, I'd watch it out of curiosity. I wouldn't watch it because people are expecting me to watch it, to review it, and expecting me to shit all over it and blah, 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 because that's the persona I've built for myself. That all muddies the waters in his situation. But just as an individual, I'd want to watch it. I'd be curious. But it's up to him. If he's not curious, then he's not curious. It's fine. Could all be a charade. He could just be watching it privately anyway. Never-Ending Story movie is pretty bad compared to the book. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Wasn't there a Nicolas Cage movie about Journey to the Center of the Earth as well? I loved that book when I was growing up. Loved that book. And I watched that movie like last year. And I don't really have many memories of it, so I don't think it could have been that good. I'm probably going to die here, guys. I don't have any AR. And I've always been shit at Bloom Hunger. There it is. Well, we'd have just enough to be okay at this tier. We're not getting, like, ultra carried right now. Except the fact I forgot my quick draw again. Man, I wish they would just rework the Ranger Spirits already and just... I don't know. I know they get used because of Frost Spirit. But I wish that they'd rework them and make them like the GW1 Spirits. That'd be so interesting for PvP. I deliberately didn't quick draw on that one because he was about to die. So why? Why bother? Can you do a Michael Caine impression? I cannot. No. WP, you always seem to enjoy going in depth with Grimrock and FF. Maybe do something similar to that. Yeah, but... I mean, I do like going in depth. I do. It's a lot of work. But I do like going in depth. And I do like that I get to be smug about that, right? Like, he doesn't just do Let's Plays. He doesn't do, like, junky, stupid, blind stuff all the time that everyone does. He does in depth. He proper breaks it down. He goes, like, that's nice. I get to be smug about that. That's cool. But, even that, it's like, well, what am I talking about? What? I want to long term be a guy that plays games? Going in depth on them? Do I? I think so, maybe. It's weird, though. So sad I can't do my Guild Wars 1 main and Guild Wars 2. What was your main? Oh, like an SOS Spirit Spammer. Ritualist. Yeah. Alright, should we try again? I'll try a single tier 3 swamp. Just to see how we do. If we're awful at it... Oh, hold on. Didn't we finish the last time we were doing this? Wasn't the idea to, finish these, right? Complete the Aquatic Ruins challenge. Beat the Jellyfish Beast with 80% reduction to all healing. To activate it, speak with the challenge mate near the beginning of the fractal. Alright, let's do that. Let's do that. Scale 1 to 20, Dolphin. Well, let's keep going with these, because this is what was important, wasn't it? I almost completely forgot about that. 1 to 20, Aquatic. So we'll go 3. Alright, so we need to activate challenge mode. It's going to reduce the amount of healing we get. Sounds pretty basic. Let's try it out. What's the fastest way to level now? Well, you get one free level 80 per account. So make that count, and that's the best way. Otherwise, I believe still the fastest way to hit it is get a lot of XP boosters, food, as many banners for you from your guild, stuff like that, and run around killing ambients super quickly. Right, here we go, challenge mate. A voice whispers on the wind, daring you to test your mettle. I don't know why, but I'm sure the next Revenant Elite spec will be using a Scepter and will be the Ritualist. It's a good plan. The only other class that might hit Ritualist well would be Necromancer. But I think the only reason you'd say that is because, you know, like, Necromancers can be thematically ritualistic. There's sort of a communion with the dead theme going on, but it's pretty loose. While Revenant, like, really, when it comes down to the actual lore and the actual way that they talk about the Revenant being in communion with the mists and summoning spirits from the mists and heroes of the past, and you look at the Revenant, which was basic, the Ritualist, which is basically the exact same thing, with its urns, right, where you could commune with, oh, guess what, great specific heroes of the past, and it's all about communicating with the mists and the blindfoldedness and all that kind of stuff. I mean, the thing is, the time to do the Ritualist is when we go to Cantha, right? If they did a Canthan expansion in a perfect world, I'm not saying they should wait this long. I'm not saying we are. we are due to go to Cantha anytime soon. But if we ever did, that in a perfect world, that's when you'd do it. Because you'd have an assassin for the thief, and you'd have ritualist for the revenant, surely? Wouldn't you? What do you guys think about what to save on the dev's workflow? I mean, it's something that probably will leave a bad taste in your mouth immediately, and that's okay. The reaction I'm looking for from you is, but how bad really is it, kind of thing. How would you guys feel if, so that the devs didn't have to make 9 elite specializations every time, they instead only made 3 elite specializations? Or you know, 4 or whatever, but they doubled up. So Ritualist releases, and it's exactly the same. Ritualist gives the class a scepter and 3 specific scepter skills, and it gives a specific class mechanic and specific class mechanic skills. Same set, same traits, same everything, except both necromancers and ritualists and revenants get it. And so there's a difference there. The capabilities of a Revenant specialized Ritualist versus a Necromancer specialized Ritualist. The way that Ritualist elite specialization combos off of their other core ones and their core mechanics and their core stuff could be completely wild. Could be very different. Could produce different experiences. And so then the devs get like... It's kind of an interesting, like, weird, flavory kind of idea, don't you think? And then what they could do is you would have the Cantha expansion, and you have Ritualist comes out, goes on 2 classes, Assassin comes out, and both thieves and warriors become assassins. I don't know, right? Or maybe Revs do. Maybe Revs get Assassin and Ritualist, because I mean, shit. Doesn't it feel like a bit of a shame to have a Shiro specialized Rev can never become an assassin? Did I go in a circle? No, I thought we went... I thought I went the most direct way to the Jellyfish Beast. What would ever double up with Elementalist? Summoner with Mesmer. Both Mesmer and Elementalist would become a Summoner. There you go. That came to me pretty quick. Try me on another one. Ask me another question. What else would double up? I don't know. It's an interesting idea, though, right? Like, and when we're thinking long-term, as we often should, 6 years in the future, 3 expansions down the drain, the devs have not just come up with 9 elite specializations for Heart of Thorns, but they came up with 9 for Cow, they came up with 9 for the Canthan expansion, now they're on the next one. They've already done 27 elite specializations. They've done 27 of the damn things. And now they're looking for a way to rein in their creativity and condense things a little. So they're going to double up. How would we feel? What would double up with NG? Demolitionist. Warrior would double up with it as well. I'm not sure how much easier that would be than just making up a whole new class. You think? See, because I am a little scared of the world where, you know, 5-6 years in the future, we're just getting like a weird, you know, like these Asian MMOs do, where they're releasing classes and you don't know what the name of the class is. It's just some obscure concept with a bunch of like random ass like slotted in random junk. I mean, honestly, I've got to be honest. I feel like some of the elite specializations, some of the devs made for even Heart of Thorns were lacking inspiration and direction already in the first 9. And we already saw a little taste with Heart of Thorns, just how upset players get when they feel that their elite specialization doesn't speak to them, you know? Oh, Dragon Hunter? I didn't play Guardian because I want a longbow. I didn't play Guardian because I wanted traps. I played Guardian because I wanted to be on the front. I wanted to be a fucking tank that bolsters my allies and stands as a holy beacon of light among the deranged darkness about me. That's why I'm a Guardian. Why have you done this, ArenaNet? For God's sake, all right? That was a very common... That wasn't my sentiment. I'm quoting random Joe Blogs right now. I quite like the Dragon Hunter idea, but we've already seen that that's huge, right? And when you've got so many players out there who, A, only play a single class, or consider a single class their main, and B, are most interested in the elite specialization, that's a huge amount of expansion sales there on a hit or a miss with the certain elite spec. Again, I don't envy the balance devs. They have got a hard fucking job. All right, what else we got here though? Let's have a look. See, legendary backpack. Guys, are you sure this is the best way to do it? We spent a long time going for this back piece. I feel like our /age is going to get really bad, and it's... I mean, we're almost on 60 hours now. I don't know. Ascalonian fractal field research paper. Complete daily recommended fractals to obtain a fractal research pages. Complete pages into a journal and exchange it for an Ascalonian fractal research paper at the Ascalonian fractal researcher located at the end of the Urban Battlegrounds fractal. Oh, so I actually turned the papers into something. I can't do that then. Burning frozen core. Obtain the gigantic ice elemental core from the remains of the giant ice elemental in Wayfarer. Ah, okay. Well, let me look up world bosses and see how long till that spawns. World boss. Svanir Shaman Chief in 15 minutes. Well, screw it. Let's go over there then. Unless there's something really short. Defeat the Swampland Fractal boss and collect a sample of the peculiar swamp moss. Take it to an Opticalum in Metrica. Oh, do I already have some of that? Champion. Oh, yeah, clump of swamp moss. Alright, so we'll do that. So we want to take it to the Opticalum in Metrica province in charge of using their special station. Alright. Yeah, so look, every time we talk about this as well, people are like, this... Can we figure out what we're doing? Is this collection not the best way of doing it then? People were saying to us originally when we started this out that the fastest way to do it was to get the first ascended backpack at the end of that collection I was just looking at. That was uniformly the response we had. And now every now and then someone will pipe up saying, "Oh no, you shouldn't do it." Is there? So what? Oh, why did I come here? We wanted to go to. Is it this? No, Opticalium. The aeronautic. Yeah, it's here. Okay. Oh. ISO's code said go for the prototype fractal capacitor, which itself is in that collection, right? Well, for that, we just need lots and lots of relics, correct? Of which I've only got 366 at the moment. We'd need 1,000 more. WP, is Auramancer any good? Yeah, it's okay. I like it. I preferred it before they changed everything, but I like it. So we shouldn't be going for this. All you need is the regular fractal back piece, not the rest of the collection. Yeah, so you guys talking about the exotic one we buy? WP, saw your reshade video, graphics guide, and the Guild Wars 2 in 2016 video. Oh man, so freaking awesome graphics. Could you please share your reshade preset, also the preset that won your reshade preset contest that you did? We'll just go to the video and click the Reddit link, and you'll see the preset down there. That's all you have to do. You can exchange your pristines for regular fractal relics at the vendor. Ah, okay. So we're not making a mistake here because... I'll come back to this place later. I don't know where exactly it is I need to do. So we're not making a mistake because I need to do this for that collection anyway. So the idea is we're going to buy the exotic one and throw it in the forge, correct? With, you know, the other stuff. WP, what do you think will be the gimmick of the legendary armor? I think it'll be stat swappable. Alright. So this is what we want to buy, right? And we're also going to want to buy a Gift of Ascension to upgrade it, as far as I remember. So it's going to be 1,850 we need. So where's the vendor that allows me to... Oh, here. 15 fractal relics for one of these. Is this smart? So people are saying, just so that everyone's clear here who can't see chat, because if you can't see chat, don't worry, it's a mess anyway. But what we're doing here is this back piece. The last thing here is this, I think. So you need dark energy for that, which means we're gonna have to salvage some of this stuff. And then it's only a chance, and then so it just seems like a mess. So what we're going to do instead is we're just going to get the prototype fractal capacitor, and then we're going to put that in the forge and make that ascended. So the idea here is to buy that, we need a lot of these. So we need to just we need to buy bags of fractal relics. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 16 bags of fractal relics. 16 times 15. There's still not many. That's only like 300-ish, right? If I do this, this leaves us with 10, just in case we want to do something else. Okay. So if I open these up. Maybe my maths was off there. See, we're only at 600 now. Oh, we got a mystic coin. Oh, because it was a daily. That's still not too good, is it, guys? So another 10 would be another 150. And then we'd be done. So we're still only at 750. Pokey3 said, ascended right. Do not drop the dark energy you need for the last collection thing. I will go to hell says, rings don't give dark energy. Right, okay. So that wouldn't work anyway. So we can just throw all of our pristines away? Can we throw all of our pristines away? There's nothing else we'd want to spend a pristine on? In which case we can just keep doing fractals then for more relics, right? Because we don't care about any of the rings. None of those matter. We don't care about the mist stone. That was for Mordry and we decided not to do that. And we don't need the Defender of Ascalon because that's for the collection and we don't care about that. So yeah. Unless somebody screams in chat right now not to spend these. We've actually got 14, not 10, so that's a bit better. We'll be up to like 800. And then we're still 1,000 off of our gold. Off of our goal. Somebody's asking for an invite to the Spud Club. I'll do that in a minute. It's okay. But yeah, it's 500 out of 500, so I have to kick people to get more in. Alright, everybody seems happy to do this, so there we go. We got all these bags now. So there we go. We're at 816, and what we need is 1,850. Oh, we're still a long way away then. Oh, really? I'm going to have to start doing this off stream, aren't I? It's just not going to work if I just do it purely on stream. I did want the whole journey to be on the series, though. The more we do it, the more I'm thinking, man, maybe Mordry was a smart idea, but it's not like we earned a crazy amount of money anyway. When we get the mastery and can open these, this is going to be, what, like 40 gold for us? So we've got about 60 G to our name. That's about it. Let me just check as well what else is in the recipe. Prototype, fractal, capacitor. So this we throw in the Mystic Forge once we've bought it with Mystic Crystals, a vial of condensed mist essence, which hopefully we've already had one drop, and then the Gift of Ascension. Pokey3 said, how much of a difference is it really? Well, it's too late now to even have that discussion. We would have been done with 0 to hero probably if we hadn't gone for it already at this point. So if we're going for it, we're going for it. The only thing I'm not going to get is Ascended Armor. That's all it is. Alright. So what do we do? Tier 3s? Is there more really to... to go for. I mean, I'll try a tier 3 with this group. We'll see how it goes. Let's do tier 3 swamp first. We'll just see. With scale 51 or higher, so I'm guessing it's scale 52 that we want to be at. No. Yeah. No. 56. I'll try this, but this will probably be the one we do. Someone said, why not go for Ascended? Just tuned in. Because Ascended Armor it's largely to make a point. Number one, it's to stop this series taking years to complete. But number two, it's to make a point to people that you shouldn't even consider someone who tells you that you need Ascended Armor. The only reason someone would ever ask Ascended Armor of you is because they want it as proof that you've played the game. That's it more than anything else. It's on the same level as pinging legendary insights, right? It's just the fact you have Ascended Armor means that you've played a reasonable amount of the game, so they can have a bit more confidence that you'll be an asset to their raid group. It's not got anything to do with the stats. And if you're attempting to raid with someone who thinks that the stats of Ascended Armor means anything, then you're about to raid with a moron anyway, and you nothing lost, nothing gained. It really doesn't matter. So that's why I'm not doing it in 0 to Hero. To drive that point home to people. Oh. Wait, what? Oh, they're already running them in. No, guys. Oh, no. Time to wisps change. 30 seconds. Oh, yeah, we're okay. They're not already running them in. Will you also complete a raid with this character? I think it would be like the biggest blue balls in the world if I didn't. So, yeah. I am going to complete a raid. Or hopefully, that's the goal. One wing, at least. Not the whole... By the time we're done, the third wing might be out, but... Did I do that too early for them? I apologize. Remember mislock instability, last laugh. Oh, enemies explode. Interesting. Afflicted soul explosion. I may have picked mine up first, which really isn't fair because mine's super easy. You can do mine in just a matter of moments. So yeah, we got to be careful. But the thing is, we're probably not going to be too stacked too close for too long with lots of mobs dying. I'll let them trigger it. WP, imagine if the Envoy armor had a perk which allowed us to hot swap between runes only if you have them unlocked, and to unlock them you would need to equip them on the item once. Thing is, there's a whole new system, a whole new idea of items and upgrades and blah 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 blah, and things that the server has to remember how many each character on each bit of armor is unlocked what, that I don't think we'll ever see the devs do it. I'm just watching on the map right now to see when one of these guys goes, and when they go, I'll go. So I don't think we'll see that. Unless it's like a new plan that they've just come out with. Zeghart said, usually I see guilds demanding Ascended accessories for raids since they're so easy to get and they're actually a fairly decent stat boost. Yeah, exactly. The accessories are easy to get. And they are actually worth something. There you go. They've got it now. Damn it. Was that my pet that triggered that there? I mean, you can get into combat with one of the only things that will put you in combat here. No swiftness, no skills, no nothing. And make it on that one that I just did. Very, very, very easy. I wonder if the armor gets anything cool like the footfalls from weapons or the gliders from the back piece. Problem is, though, again, it's like... They're going to need to start carving out specific visual space for specific cosmetics or specific kinds of items. Because... people with Ascended Armor probably already have a legendary, maybe even two, that are already competing for their footfalls, and now the armor's competing as well. This is why you guys will see, as time goes on, more and more and more players are going to want some kind of like an aura system. some kind of way to select which cosmetics affect their character most. How there's a lot of people out there who are saying no, this kind of thing isn't necessary because it's features for the elite, it's features for the few. Most of us don't have multiple legendaries. Most of us don't have this. Most of us don't have this or this or this. My argument in response to that, this guy has no AR either, apparently. So we might not be able to do this. My response to that is kind of that Guild Wars 2 is so heavily based on these things, and that they're going to get on cosmetics, on the Barbie doll factor, on the EP showing off, on feeling and looking cool, that it's foolish to ignore. And it's only going to get worse as time goes by. Well, not worse. It's only going to become more of an issue, though, as time goes by. Wow, someone said, as someone that bought the game in beta but then stopped playing in weeks and just came back about a month ago, your Zero to Hero videos have in general taught me a lot. Really? Well, there you go. I'm glad that it's helping people out. I mean, it's so long, and it's so, like, bloated. You know, it's so spread out, the actual, you know, nuggets of information. I'm surprised. I'm glad, though. I am glad. What other cosmetic effect could there be for legendary armor? We already have auras. I feel like if they added even more particle effects, it could become a bit insane. Right. So what I'm proposing is some kind of system where you get like a little UI up on the on your box. Or, you know, I guess it would work well here, right? Another one of these auras. And it lists, you know, like auras. There's an aura up in this corner. There's like an aura for each of your trinkets, and auras down here. And you can only have like 4 on the go at any one time, and you get to choose. I want my Queen Bee aura here, my legendary armor aura here, this aura here, this aura here. There you go. But you can only have 4, so you like, I don't know, something like that. It's not something I've spent a long time ruminating over. What's the best way to get central tier and mastery points? You're looking at, my friend, Fractals. If you have AR, and if you're comfy in here, you get it really quickly. What about a legendary upgrade extractor that you can unlock with the armor? Infinite use and only works on legendary items. The thing is with this, people ask me this a lot. What you're going to find, though, is I'm quite a conservative man, and I don't, in general, like the idea of features that invalidate markets over time. I probably will never be in favor of legendary armor giving people infinite hot swappable runes, whether you have to unlock them in the first place or not. I don't like it. Because it puts the game in an eventual, you know, it puts us in an entropy scenario. But it's the heat death of the MMO eventually, because slowly over time, more players and a higher percentage of the active player base are less interested in runes and sigils and whatever, because now they get it all for free because of effort they put in years ago. Again, I think very long term when I think about features going in, and I'm very conservative. Not that I have any say, but I generally speaking, that's why I don't like features like that. I get it. I understand the convenience. I do play the game. I know it'd be really cool. But I think it's damaging irreversibly damaging in the long run, because people shit themselves if you take something away from them. Points, WP, not experience. Oh, the best way to get mastery points. I couldn't really tell you because I already had loads of achievements done. That's a really good idea for this channel, this show, this account as well. Like getting the points. These guys are doing really well with Bloom Hunger here. WP, aren't people already not interested in runes and sigils? Yeah, but that's just defeatist, slippery slope fallacy, which also I don't think has any real relevance. But the difference here, the important difference there is the runes and sigils can be actively balanced for years to come to become more appealing and put more in line. Rebalances and overhauls like the one I suggested a while ago, in which you split the stats from the perks of the runes and stuff like that. That can all be enacted that eventually strengthens those markets and those economies. And as well, even though I'm quite conservative, I'd say in general, recently I'm a lot more conservative than Arena themselves proved to be. Look at, for example, the patch shortly before Heart of Thorns, where they allowed us to stat swap through the Mystic Forge our our ascended armors and weapons and stuff. Now, what the devs did with that patch, so just so that you guys know, if I have, say, an ascended weapon, let's just mouse over this. Let's pretend it's an ascended weapon. If I take this and throw it in the forge, I can throw it in the forge with some very cheap items. Ectoplasm, that's cool, that's fine. That keeps that economy, that market going. That's good. That's a good idea. But if I throw my ascended quality weapon in with just an exotic quality inscription of a different stat set, I can combine it and voila, I'm done. And they've done that to be nice to the player base and to be accessible to the player base, and that's all well and good. But that also severely invalidates some stuff they put in there. Because what you get is you get players like me who take advantage of this. When Heart of Thorns came out, I wanted a full set of Viper's gear. So what did Wooden Potatoes 2 do to get his full set of Viper's gear? Oh, well, he clearly played all their new content, right? He dived into the Auric Basin, and he did lots of those metas, and he got good with it, and made some friends. Maybe he joined the Auric Basin Guild. You know, he learned how to map chat command it. He got very smart at the timings of the different events, and he spent a lot of time in the jungle. He felt like he got value for his money, that $50 out of Heart of Thorns, didn't he? Actually, no, Wooden Potatoes didn't do that. He took advantage of your very nice system that you put in, which means he never had to get ascended quality shit at all. He just got some crappy exotic Vipers stuff. Didn't even need ascended Vipers stuff. And I just made like some PVT placeholder gear and swapped it over in that way. And I bypassed all their systems. I just skipped over it. So stuff like that I think is damaging to the game. I took advantage of it, but I think that, you know, they're too generous sometimes. How do you think a PvE league system with hardcore characters would work, similar to Path of Exile in Guild Wars 2? Players in this league would get a differently coloured achievement score. I would fucking love that. I think that would be so cool. I think that's really important for an MMO as well. So this is the idea that people like go through and play the game as fast as possible or in a certain way on their permadeath characters. It's really important in MMO because it keeps the early level areas healthy and populated. You guys did amazing in that Fractal, by the way. Like, really cool. I'm not going to do another one, though, because I don't think that's in the spirit of Zero Zero, just getting carried by people like that for random little dailies. I don't think it's in the spirit, so we're not going to do that again. I think that would be really, 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 really good. But if ArenaNet shifted gears now and they're no longer thinking about putting new systems in the game, I don't know whether we'll ever see it going into the game. All right. Well, guys, what's our uptime here? It's been so long since I've streamed. I've lost all perspective of how long we've been going. We're almost 2 hours done. Is there anything else Zero to Hero related-ish that I need to do? You guess I forgot about the... Oh, yeah. Somebody wanted a Spud Club invite. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let's see. Last online... This guy. Luckbox. 2 weeks. Rip. On a rock. Oh, I hate kicking people whose names I recognize. Especially because some of these people might have actually sent donations. Alright, there we go. And guild invite. Excellent. The thing with auto-attacking a Condi warrior while he's in Berserky Signet worked out pretty well as a necro. I really disagree with you there. When I get a magic ascended drop, I don't want to be extremely disappointed anymore. Why should I be disappointed by one of the rarest drops in the game? You misunderstand. You're living in a weird world where you think it has to be one or the other. I'm not saying I don't like the system at all. I like the system. I just think that it's too easy. I think it should cost more ectos or more skill points, especially skill points. That currency needs more value to it. And I think it should be ascended inscriptions and ascended insignias to swap stuff instead of a whole tier below. So you can still swap. You get that rare drop. You can be excited about it, and you can still swap. It's still better than the old world we were living in, but it's not too easy. But that's the thing with an MMO. Once you put in the easy version, you can't put in the more balanced version later. That's why you have to be so conservative with every little change you make. You know, people will be quick to jump down ArenaNet's throat if they put a reward in the game that feels crappy or feels off, and it's like, how could they even have considered this being in the game? Sometimes it's baffling, but you've also got to consider that sometimes this comes out of a philosophy of conservatism, because you have to be conservative, because you can't reverse it a lot of the time. Like, so for example, like one of the things that I think you can easily laugh at ArenaNet for is in Dragon's Stand. What happens if I click that? I don't even have those unlocked. What happens if I click that? At the end of Dragon Stand, or you can do it any time now, there are, I'll show you. At the vendors here, there's a rune set. I don't actually know what the balance is like for the rewards right now. But there's a rune set here. Sigil of Leadership. This takes 100 crystalline ore each. This is 600 crystalline ore. Now, that you can laugh at the devs for that and be like, you are... How can you be so out of touch with how your game plays that you would ever put this in here? This is so stupid. This is like so out of whack of any other... It's just... It's baffling. It's crazy. But I tend to be a little bit more lenient with stuff like that, and I don't laugh too hard because at the end of the day, you can't afford to make the mistake of this going in the other direction, that it's so bafflingly easy to get. I'd rather it be too bafflingly hard because you can't go back on it. That they can nerf down until it's tailored, until it's balanced properly. You can't balance in the other direction easily, not without pissing people off. And whether it's justifiable outrage or not, it damages your sales, so you gotta be careful. WP, what's your opinion on the Precursor collection? Do you think they are too hard? No, I think they're perfectly balanced. I think Precursors are supposed to have a lot of value and be difficult to get, and the Precursor collection system was never meant to stop that. It's supposed to be a more incremental and flavorful way of acquiring a Precursor that is non-RNG and not reliant on the trading post. That was all it was ever supposed to be. And I think it's well succeeded in those aims. It wasn't meant to make you get a legendary weapon easily. Oh, pole dropper, goat dropper. Any other questions, guys, just before I leave? I swapped characters so we wouldn't keep racking up /age while I'm doing nothing here. Any other questions? Well, the other thing as well is rare drops, generally speaking, in other games would be tradable. But yeah, if you get a really rare drop that's account bound, you want the player to feel rewarded for that. Hey WP, you still trying out BDO? I keep hearing worse and worse things about it and people leaving it. It's probably not doing worse and worse and worse. It's just MMO fever where people... And it's not MMO fever, it's video game players who play a game and then they leave. And so they're, you know, then they want to tell everyone that their MMO's dying. I haven't played it for about a week and a half. It was okay, but it's pretty boring to me. /deaths on Goat Dropper. I think she's got 3 now. No, it's 2. One where we jumped off the airship after killing Zaitan, and one where we opened Scarlet's box. That's all she's got, 2. Sorry, 6th hour. Yeah, the stream's about to end. To be fair, we're pretty late here. Fishstick said, I want to say I love your videos, WP. I watch them all. Thanks very much. I tried out something new this week where I separated the new content the devs put in from the patch and do a different video on each. I think generally it's okay. It does mean it's a shorter video, though. Not relying on the TP. Bolt requires so many ascended materials. It's just as reliant on the TP as buying the thing. It's more flavorful, though, so I still think it's perfect. That's a fair point. Yeah, it's probably still got a lot of TP reliance. To be fair as well, I haven't done too much of it, so you should take my opinion with a pinch of salt. But theoretically, it's easier to farm it, though, right? Even if it's a lot of ascended material, even if it's a lot of you know, spiritwood planks or whatever, you can go out there and you can farm them better than you could farm the Mystic Forge. Am I sleepy? Yeah, I'm sleepy. It's late. It's very late. But yeah. All right, guys. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks very much to everybody who's been watching the VODs as well. This is another episode of Zero to Hero. We'll return next week. I will do some Fractals. I will try to find some time to do some Fractals between streams, I promise. Just to get this going a bit quicker, because it's going to take a while. But yeah, thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Have a wonderful evening. Love chatting, as always. And I'll see you next time.